Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk about real stuff and real estate with real realtors or something along those lines.
I think you mixed up the real and the real, but
whatever comes out is what we're flowing with.
That's the topic. Yeah, I mean, that's the title.
And today we're talking about nightmares on Escrow Street.
Nightmares on Escrow Street.
So we have sold quite a few homes in our days, and there are lots of different stories of lots of different crazy things that have happened, but we are going to go into 4 short anecdotal stories about things that have happened to us during escrow or our clients or the house.
That one time when your client went to jail?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear about
this
that.
one time my client went to jail. So starting off strong with story number 1, I was in escrow on a home, and this woman was buying a home cash, and she was getting help from her mom. She wasn't, I don't know, she's probably in her 50s or so. And all of a sudden we're going to close escrow. Everything went great, and I cannot get a hold of her. And we're supposed to sign closing documents. I'm like, what is going on? So I finally get a call from her. I do get a call from her. Actually, I was thinking her son called me, but it wasn't her son. I get a call from an unknown number, or it's like one of those ones that say toll free on it. Mm-hmm. So I pick up, and it's like, you have a call from Butte County Jail. I'm like, what the hell did my husband do? No, I'm just kidding. I was like, what is going on? So I, of course, accept the call, and it's her. And she's like, hey, I'm in jail.
Oh, no.
I had no idea what to do. So anyways, I should say that she was not in jail for anything that she actually did, to my knowledge. What she told me was she had information about something that had happened in the past, and they were like holding her until she would give up this information. But thinking about it now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know what happened.
Suspicious.
A little suspicious. And I don't know if she ever got out. So anyways, I ended up driving to the county with the documents, because little did I know you can still buy the house even if you're in jail. I mean, all her funds were already in and everything. Like, everything was in. I just needed her to sign closing docs. So I drove and dropped off the docs to the county, and I think they have somebody there, a notary that will go. Yeah. So the notary signed with her, and we ended up closing, and I gave her keys to her son. And I honestly, her phone number no longer works. I have no way to get a hold of her. Her email doesn't work. Something happened. I have no idea if she lives there or if her son lives there or who ended up with the home. And it was a home that it needed a lot of work, a lot of work. So
well, hopefully she's doing okay and got herself out of that situation.
I know. I really do. She's a really nice lady. I sure hope so. I should do a drive-by and see. It's kind of out there, so I don't know next time I'll be over there, but maybe I should drive by and see if anyone's home.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this story does not have a happy ending, but it was an interesting situation that happened. A man, apparently in the middle of the night, broke into one of the title companies, and he had a weapon. The security guard heard the alarm, so he came down, and this guy that broke in somehow attacked the security guard. And so he called the police. The police came down, found this man that had broken into the title company in the women's bathroom, and he had a weapon with him. So, and he lunged at them, apparently. And so they ended up shooting him, and unfortunately he did not live. So, which, is terrible and sad. The interesting thing is the way people react to that situation when you are trying to close your home. So for 2 days, I think it was 2 or 3 days, the title company was completely shut down. I mean, yellow tape.
It was a crime scene investigation.
It was a crime scene investigation. Good point. So, but we had people with moving trucks.
Yep.
And ready loan docs were at title. I had 2 or 3 people that were siding at that particular title company during that time frame, and they were pissed that they could not close on their property. They could not close. Now, in hindsight, could we have figured out a way to make it happen? Could we have set up a makeshift office somewhere? Right. But at the end of the day, everybody ended up closing with, a week later or a few days after the close date, and it all worked out for them. But I just found it very interesting how upset people were. I mean, they were yelling and screaming about it, and not just really my clients. I just heard that a lot of clients were pretty mad.
And it just goes to show, like, you never know what might hold off the
I know.
closing.
When somebody says, what could hold, why wouldn't it maybe not close
Yeah.
on time? I'm like, well, there was this one time.
You literally never know. So I always tell my clients, be a little lenient on the close date, because a
Right.
lot of things have to line up and you just never know
A lot of moving parts.
what might happen.
And you never know what might happen. So
Lot of
that was
dominoes.
a very interesting story.
That is interesting. And that was before I was in real estate, because I do not remember that happening.
It was probably right before you got into real estate. It wasn't that long ago.
Okay, maybe 2015 or 14, something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
8 or 9 years ago, maybe.
Okay, so story number 3 is I don't want to give away what it's about. I'm just going to tell a story. So I had a home in Escrow. This was in Paradise. This was post fire. It was actually last year, and this family had to work very hard to get a home into Escrow. Like, the market was crazy and they were on a budget, and they had a lot of kids. So it was just really hard to find them something anyways. And they finally found something, and we were so happy, and they got into contract. We got all the way to just about final walkthrough. So like the very last week of Escrow, and the listing agent calls me and goes, Kelsey, a tree fell on the home. And I'm like,
oh no.
Okay, so what does that mean? She's like, I'm going to send you some photos. So she sends me photos. This home was a brand new manufactured home, huge home, like 2,000 something square feet. And the neighbor's tree just smashed down the middle of it, like literally in half.
Destroyed the house.
We tried to come back from it, and my client and his father are contractors. So at first, we were like, well, maybe we'll do a bid for the insurance company, and the seller's insurance company can just hire them to do the work on their own house. But it was just, mobile homes are different than normal homes. And it was going to be way too much work. And they weren't sure what the extent of the damage was, because there's other rafters that could have been affected that weren't actually hit. So anyways, it was insane. And this family it was like one thing after the other that kept happening, and then this happened, and they're like, we're done, we're just going to cancel this escrow and find a new house.
Did they?
They did. So they ended up finding another house, and it was a single family home instead of a manufactured home. So I think it was in a better house for them in some ways, not. It was smaller, but they love it. They're still there to this day. But that escrow is a whole nother story. Oh my gosh. Like these poor guys could not catch a break. They're texting me to this day about things they're finding in that home that was like from crazy sellers. Like someone was stealing their electricity recently.
Oh, wow.
Crazy stuff.
There is some weird stuff that happens, and a lot of it we forget about. Like these are the things off the top of our head on a moment's notice. Yeah. But we should really start making note of these things more often.
Like future podcast episode running note. I know.
100%. That's funny. Well, I had a story once where this is during the foreclosure days when there was just everything was a foreclosure. And I think it was like a Sunday night. I was on my way home, and we were going to close the next day. And I decided to stop by the house, and I think I was leaving like a gift for the buyer on the countertop. And I open the door, and I hear running water, like a shower running. And at first I was like, oh my God, somebody's in the house. So I kind of carefully walked through the house. All the lights are completely off.
And you guys haven't closed at this point.
We haven't closed escrow. We're closing the next day. It was nighttime. It was dark outside, and it was cold. It was the week of Christmas. And I walked back into the laundry room, and out of the recess lighting, water is pouring out like a shower, and had been for probably 2 days. There was water because I hit the water before I realized, because it was all over the ground and the floor. Right. So the next morning, crack of dawn, and of course I was using a great title company, and she was already getting my emails at 6 a.m. and I said, do not close this escrow. Stop closure. It was a foreclosure. If you closed on that, there's no way that bank would have paid for that damage. No. So we got somebody in there, we got it all cleaned up, and closed like a week later. They got in by Christmas. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We got lucky on that, but it did have to there was a lot of water damage that we had to handle, but it worked out.
Ceiling, floors. Do you know what happened to pipe? burst.
Pipe burst. Yep. Froze and
ceiling.
burst because it was a vacant property.
Oh man. See, people think that foreclosures are deals and they want foreclosures and it's like candy, and it's really not. Foreclosures are really hard. They need a lot of work. Stuff like that can happen.
Yes.
It's not puppies and rainbows and butterflies when you're buying a foreclosure. And if you don't have the money or the know-how to fix up homes correctly, then it's going to be hard.
And this was actually a newer house. It was just it was in Husa Ranch.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was actually a newer house, but a home left unattended.
Yeah, for any length of time.
Yeah, when you don't have the heater going and things like that, you just the pipes will freeze. So that's not why I went over there, was to check on the house. I wish I was that smart, but luckily I did. So,
oh my gosh, yeah, your buyers were probably so happy.
They were happy. Yep.
Like, wow, Brandy, you would just have such attention to detail.
Yeah.
You really catch everything.
I'm sure we have like a million more stories, but that's what we have for today, I think. These fun little crazy stories that happened during escrow.
Hopefully it's entertaining. So we're going to wrap this one up, and we will see you guys on the next podcast.
Peace out.
Peace.